Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're just going to do a quick little video. This is actually sort of a second part to the video that went up the last time. I don't know if this is going up on a Monday or Thursday or whatever, but whatever my last video was, this is sort of the second part of that. So in the last video, and if you didn't see that one, I will link it up above for you, but I talked about products that I really enjoy that others don't seem to like very much. And so now today we are going to talk about the opposite. So things that I've heard a lot of people talk about that they really like that I just don't really love. So, you know, as it goes with the other video, you know, everybody has different tastes. So if I'm talking about things today that you absolutely love, that is totally okay. I just have a different preference. You know, maybe it just didn't work for me for, you know, because of my skin type or something like that, or just my preferences. So don't take it personally. And, you know, vice versa. If I talked about things that I really liked in the last video, you know, that you really hate, well, there you go. But let's jump into the products. So the first one is one that is it's a trend that is continuing, and I'm kind of bummed about it because, I mean, I guess it's good because then I'm not buying it, but I just don't get it and I don't really like it. And I think it's just kind of gimmicky, to be quite honest with you. So the product that I'm talking about is the Butter London Glazing Eyeglosses. So I tried one of these a while back. I actually got it for this Ulta haul that I did. There was like a 20% off, and actually I hadn't planned on getting it, but it was already like half off. And so then with the 20%, so I was like, okay, I've been wanting to try this for a while. This is a good time to do it. And I still ended up returning it because I really just didn't love it. So it's one of these sort of like jelly type of formulas, you know, it sort of like jiggles in the little pot. It's almost like Jello, you know, and so it's a really cool consistency. It's really a unique thing. It was at the time anyway. Now tons of brands are coming out with them. ColourPop came out with their Jelly Much shadows, which I haven't tried. And then I just saw, I think it was e.l.f. is coming out with some like face products that are jelly. Even Butter London came out with some face products ones. But I just didn't really get it with that product. It looked really beautiful when I would put my finger in it and look at it on my finger. It looked beautiful. But then when I put it on the eyes, it was a little bit lackluster. It was just kind of okay. It looked pretty. I didn't feel like it was anything, you know, more special than any other type of like cream shadow. I don't know. I just didn't really get the hype around it, even for the cheap price that I got it. You know, I just didn't really understand it. I feel like it's just gimmicky. Like, it's not like it's a terrible product. Like, it worked okay, but I just didn't really understand why. Like, it just felt like a gimmick, and apparently it's continuing as a trend. Maybe the ColourPop ones are good, and of course that would be a more affordable price tag. Same thing with e.l.f. So if you've been wanting to try one of these, I would recommend trying one of those first to see if you like it. But I just didn't really get it. I don't know. I just thought it was okay. It just didn't excite me. So I don't know. I'm just not into that trend in general, but that was sort of the original product that I tried. Then I wanted to talk about a couple sponges. I've been trying a lot of sponges lately, you know, just to see if there's anything different and more affordable than my Beauty Blender. I've always loved the Beauty Blender. I still do, and I still buy it, but I try other sponges to just to try different things, and also sort of like, you know, break up the price of, you know, having to buy the Beauty Blender, because they don't last forever. You know, they last a good amount of time, but that's typically what I use to apply my foundation. And so I do need to switch them up pretty often because I use them on an almost daily basis. And I have found some ones that I like. Like, I do like the Flower Beauty one. The only thing is it's so big, and because I've been applying my foundation after my eyeshadow, it can be a little bit tough to apply, but I do really love that one. I love the consistency of it. I really like the L'Oreal one. I like the Sonia Kashuk one. So those are a few that I do like. But the two that I had tried at first, back when I was still just using the Beauty Blender, and it turned me off from trying other sponges for a very, very, very long time, were the Real Techniques sponge, the Orange Original sponge, and then the EcoTools green one. And they're not bad. They just were okay to me, and I did not think that they compared to the Beauty Blender. And I know that there are people who love those sponges, and I just don't really get it. I've even tried another one recently that I just think is so-so. I'll talk about that in a Beauty Blab later. It's not one that I think is terrible, but it's just not one I'd really repurchase again. So I definitely am, I guess, picky when it comes to sponges. You know, I think the Beauty Blender is so good that it, like, I don't know, it needs to be really good to compete with that for me. And like I said, I've found a few that I really do enjoy, but the Real Techniques one, the EcoTools one, I don't know. Something about them, the consistency, the squishiness, like it just wasn't my thing. I don't know. You let me know in the comments below what sponges you like and which ones you don't like. I'd be curious if I'm alone in some of these, because I feel like everybody seems to like those sponges. So I don't know. The next product is just one that I think it's okay. I don't know. I don't really get why people are so in love with it, I guess, is what it comes down to, because it's not a bad product. So I'm talking about the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural. I actually finished up the one that I had in my project pan for 2018. So I was very excited to be able to do that. And it's just an okay powder to me. You know, I feel like as a setting powder for my combo skin, it doesn't quite do enough for me. It looks nice when I first apply it, but it just doesn't like hold everything in quite as much as I would like. And then even as like a powder foundation, it's a pretty light coverage, so it's just not quite as much as I would have wanted. So I had to like kind of go ham with it, which is, you know, made it easier to finish it up for sure. But that's kind of how I felt about it. And I have seen Stephanie Marie use it as like a finishing powder, so I haven't tried that. So that might be a cool way to use it. But as far as using it as like a setting powder, I definitely did not like it underneath my eyes. I can tell you that much. And, you know, either as a setting powder all over the face or as a light powder foundation, I don't know. It's not bad, but it's just, people love that product, and I just thought it was okay. The next one is one that I will say I have seen mixed reviews about it, but there are people who just love this eyeliner, like Jessica Braun, who I love. I trust her, and I mean, I trust that she's had a good experience with this liner, don't get me wrong, but I just don't understand how it worked for her. It's the NYX Epic Ink liner. This is a liquid liner. It's like, you know, in a, like, it's like a brush tip, just like the Kat Von D one that I'm not using anymore. I mean, I'm using it, but not on camera. I'm just kind of trying to use it up. Like the Clinique one. So it has that brush tip that I really do like, and I tried it because I had heard about it from her, and I know that Katie Marie has had the same experience as me, so that's why I say, like, I do know that there are some mixed reactions to this product, so it's not all love, but there are plenty of people who love this product. And for me, just like the way that Katie was explaining it, she talked about it in a recent video, and I had the exact same experience with it. It was like it had a mind of its own. Like some days I'd use it and it would be just fine. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good liner. Like it's doing what I want it to do. It looks good. And then some days it was like almost like so much product was coming out of it that it was like you place it down lightly and it was like bleed, 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 and it would bleed everywhere. And then your eye makeup would just be like basically ruined, and it was so frustrating. And I have a hard enough time as it is with liquid liner. I am not a pro, and I do my best, but I'm certainly not a pro when it comes to liquid liner. I don't need that. I don't need something that is going to act like that for me. And, you know, it's just like weird that sometimes it would work well, sometimes it wouldn't, you know, I tried storing it upside, you know, downside, like it didn't matter the way that I stored it. It was just like some days it worked, some days it would ruin my makeup. So that wasn't gonna work for me. All right, then this is another one that I talked about in my I did like a top 5, bottom 5 for expensive luxury products. I can link that up above so you can see everything else that I talked about. But this is a product that was in my bottom 5, of course. And this is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. People love this primer, and yes, it's pricey and they know that, but like people just rave about this primer. And to me, it was not like it was bad. It was just that it was okay. I kept trying it. I still, like, I have a little sample of it, and I keep trying it every so often. Like, okay, maybe I'm just not really noticing, you know, maybe I'm not really paying attention. Like, I don't know, maybe I just need to keep trying. I don't know. It's just okay. I mean, maybe if it was like a $10 primer or even a $20 primer, I would be like, okay, this is a great product, but like it's so expensive and like it just doesn't knock my socks off. I feel like it smells really nice, so it's like a pleasant experience. It does feel a lot more like cooling and moisturizing than a typical like pore filling smoothing primer, so I'll give it that. I would say that, yeah, probably it smooths out my skin nicely, but I wouldn't say it like really fills in my pores to like a point where I'm like blown away. I even mentioned in that video that I talked about that it really felt very similar to the Urban Decay Optical Illusion to me. This one's maybe slightly more drying, but nevertheless, I get basically the same effect. In fact, I one time tried to do that Urban Decay one on one side and then tried the Tatcha on the other side just to see like really if there was a difference, and I didn't notice a difference. So I don't know. I know people love that primer, but I don't know. I just don't see the magic in it. And the last one is really one that I feel like is mostly just because of my skin type and my preferences, and that is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. Now, I really did like the Backlight one. So the First Light is like that like purpley lavender one, so it's super pretty. I love the way that it looks. And I do really like the Backlight one, which is sort of the more like champagne-y one. I don't have that one in my collection right now, but I have the Physician Formula base dupe for it, like the Spotlight one. It's basically the same thing. So I do like that one. I don't use it a whole lot because I do have combo skin that can get a little bit oily. But the thing was with the First Light primer for me was that I tried using it a couple times and I felt like I got one of two type of results from it. So if I wore it in like a colder climate where my skin doesn't get quite as oily and could handle it a little bit more, I didn't feel like it really did a whole lot for me. But when I wore it when it was like really hot out, like in the summer, it made me so oily and it was like not pretty. So like if it's, you know, if I can't wear it in either scenario, like it's just not going to work for me, you know? So it was just kind of a weird product because to me, I didn't really notice a whole difference in general, except for when it made me like way too oily because I was wearing it when it was really hot out. I don't know. It was just like a weird product to me. So again, I think that it's more like my preferences, my skin type. I think if you have more like drier skin or even normal, you may really enjoy that primer. Maybe you'll notice a little more of something. I don't know. But I don't know. For me, I just didn't really notice much happening, and if I did, it was just me getting too oily. So I don't know, that one just didn't work for me. All right, everyone, so that is it for products that I really don't enjoy that I see a lot of people loving. Let me know in the comments below what products you really don't like that you feel like everybody loves, and let me know what you think about these products that I talked about, of course. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That really does help out my channel so much. I post videos every single Monday and Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. If you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I would love for you to stick around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.